What's up, everybody, and welcome to chapter 4. Today, we are going through job analysis and job design. And we're going to start off, this is our introduction. So we're going to start off with here. And so essentially, a job is more than a title. So it represents the structured set of responsibilities, tasks, expectations that employees must fulfill in order to contribute to an organization's goals. Now, every company relies on a job structure to ensure smooth operations, productivity, and efficiency. What you're looking at is workflow analysis, and it takes this a step further. So what it does is that by explaining how a job fits together in a broader organizational framework, we have something that is more structured. So it helps businesses determine the best ways to structure their teams, assign responsibilities, and optimize process for efficiencies. Now, without a clear workflow, duplication of tasks, inefficiencies, and bottlenecks can hinder businesses from actually operating the way they should. So, for example, in a customer service department, workflow analysis helps determine how the customers acquire or how the customer queries should be managed from the initial contact to issue resolution, right? So from the first step to the last step. In one stage of the process, if that one stage of the process is inefficient or there's something wrong or whatever the case is, it makes the job a lot harder, and it makes the customer experience a lot harder as well. So it's not a smooth customer interaction. So what you want to do is job analysis and job and workflow analysis, they work hand in hand in creating a structured, efficient and scalable work environment. All right. Now, what is a job analysis and its impact on human resources? Well, a job analysis, as that again, is a systematic approach to understanding what a job actually entails. So it provides clarity and on duties, on responsibilities, on expectation of a position, ensuring alignment between employees' role and organizational objective. Now, without this proper job analysis, organizations may struggle with hiring inefficiencies, performance mismanagement, and unclear expectations. One of the key benefits of job analysis is that it helps determine the basic responsibility of a role. It defines what employees expect to accomplish and how success is measured. This information is essential for creating a job description that actually is accurate and result in a recruitment process, a recruitment and performance evaluation. So it's actually very useful. Also, job analysis, it examines the behaviors and skills required for a role. So by identifying the competencies needed, HR can actually ensure they hire individuals who are not just qualified, but also suited to the organization's culture. So you don't just want someone who can do the job, you want someone who fits into this culture that you've created. So for example, a marketing manager needs strong analytical skills, they need creative skills, and the ability to manage digital campaigns. And those are all really, really good. However, they need to fit in again with the company culture as well. So you need to have these things, and then you need the other things as well. Job analysis should also assess the physical and mental requirement of a job. So certain roles demand specific physical activities or abilities, such as lifting heavy objects or standing for long hours. So while other require problem-solving skills, attention to details, or maybe decision-making under pressure, there are certain jobs that require physical characteristics, and those are the ones that you need to assess for so that you are hiring the right person. And so what you're doing is essentially you're analyzing the job to make sure that everything is there as you need it to be. So job analysis is the cornerstone of human resource management functions. And so again, this is kind of a figure of what we're looking at. You're looking at alignment of these cornerstones, the job descriptions, and the job specifications. So essentially, HR strategy and planning is included, and so organization must align their workforce structures with business objectives. Workflow analysis and job design, understanding how tasks are grouped and assigned, ensures that no critical function is overlooked. Requirement and selection, which is a well-structured job analysis, actually helps hiring managers define job roles. It helps hiring managers define job roles, craft job descriptions, and identify the best candidates, and really just set a clear criteria for selecting the right individuals with the necessary skills. Next up, we have performance appraisals. So without job analysis, performance reviews would be arbitrary. However, because you have a job analysis, you understand what it is and you understand what you're appraising. Compensation and benefits. Again, if you've analyzed a job correctly, then you know what the compensation and benefits should be. And legal compliance, making sure that jobs are well defined, protects organizations against discrimination lawsuits, and ensures that there's a compliance with the labor laws that are available. So what are the major parts of a job analysis? One, job description, which is the outline of the job, and it's very essential. To do this, you are looking at essential tasks, duties, responsibility of a job, and a really good, strong job description prevents misunderstanding and ensures that employees know what is expected of them. It also serves as a guide for hiring managers and supervisors. The second thing is job specifications. So this detailed qualifications, skills, competencies required for the job. You're looking at ensuring that the right people are at the right places at the right time and so forth. So what you're looking at is knowledge, skills, abilities, and other attributes. Knowledge, the information and the expertise needed for the job. Skills, learned abilities such as technical proficiencies and leadership. Abilities, innate abilities like problem solving and physical endurance. And other qualities, so personality traits, values, ethical considerations that contribute to a job performance. Some of the sources for job analysis information is you relying on multiple sources to make sure that these things are there. And so the most common methods would include interviews, questionnaires, observations, and diaries. And so with interviews, you're speaking directly with employees and supervisors to provide the insight into job responsibilities, challenges, and expectations. So we're not talking about, this is kind of like a research thing. So we're not talking about interviews like you're looking for a job and you're getting interviewed. These are very different things, right? So we're looking more of research. So you're speaking to people, you have questionnaires that you send out and help collect information from a larger group of people. Observations, so directly watching employees perform their jobs and see how the jobs are actually executed. And diaries, where employees document their daily tasks, providing comprehensive overviews of their role. And diaries offer a valuable insight, but it can be time-consuming to analyze and also can be time-consuming for the employee as well. The job analysis process, you can kind of see it there in a visual. You have the source of data, then you have the data collecting methods. How are you performing this research? So you have to identify, So you begin with the source of the data. Where are you getting it? Is it job analysis, employee, supervisor, and so forth. Then you have the data collection, so interviews, questionnaires, things like that. You then develop job descriptions based on the data that you've collected. You establish job qualifications, so you identify the necessary skills, knowledge, and abilities required for success in the role. Validate the information, so have managers and employee review the findings to ensure accuracy, and implement and review. So you want to use the job analysis data in hiring, training, and performance evaluations, and organizations should actually also review job analysis periodically to make sure that they remain relevant as the job role evolves. So this is an ongoing process. It's not a one in a lifetime and then we're done. To ensure a job analysis is reliable, HR professionals must keep must take steps to verify the accuracy of the data collected. And there are three critical factors that you want to consider. One, cross-verification of information. So responses from interviews and questionnaires should be compared to eliminate any inconsistencies. So if an employee's response contradict other data, additional follow-up is necessary. You want to use a representative sample. So a job analysis should rely on an input of not just one or two employees. It should be representative of all the employees. So you're looking for data that should be collected from multiple job holders to get more accurate picture. And then final validation is once the analysis is complete, it should be reviewed by employees and managers to confirm its accuracy. So any necessary adjustments should be made before the implementation happens, okay? There are some other methods to job analysis. One, functional job analysis, so breaks down tasks into specific categories, providing a detailed picture of the job responsibilities. The other thing is a position analysis questionnaire, so a standardized questionnaire that evaluates job complexity through hundreds of task-related questions. And then critical incident method, where it focuses on identifying key behaviors that led it to exceptional or poor job performances as well. So these are part of the job analysis that you can perform. So the critical incident method evaluates job performances by identifying behaviors that result in either a significant positive or a significant negative outcome. The graph shows how job behaviors can be categorized based on their effectiveness. And so, for example, if a customer service role, a critical incident could be an employee successfully de-escalating a conflict with an angry customer. On the negative side, you would look at poorly handled interactions that led to customer complaints. So by analyzing such incidences, companies can improve training programs and establish performance standards. And this method is particularly useful in industries where customer interactions safety measures or leadership effectiveness are crucial for the success of the customers. Task inventory analysis and competency-based approaches are another two critical methods that have emerged. So each of these methods provides a different lens through which HR professionals can evaluate job roles, responsibilities, and capabilities required for success. With task inventory analysis is a structured approach where organizations compile a detailed list of task performance within a job. This method is useful for breaking down roles and essential components in ensuring that every aspect of the job is documented. So organizations, what they do is they often rely on this method to standardize roles, especially in industries where job duties are highly specific. So you're looking at things like manufacturing or technical fields. By identifying and categorizing tasks, companies can design training programs, set performance metrics, and ensure compliance with operations standards. However, this method primarily focuses on what employees did rather than their abilities to adapt to change. Now, competency-based approach goes beyond task identification to evaluate the underlying skills, knowledge, and abilities that are available or required for that job performance. So instead of just focusing on current job duties, this method examines how well employees can perform those tasks and how adaptable they are to future challenges. So for example, competency-based job profile for marketing manager would include not just their ability to create campaigns, but also their analytical skills, creativity, and potential leadership. Now, the main distinction between these two components or these two methods is that task inventory analysis is task-oriented, while competency-based approach is performance-oriented. All right. So competency-based job analysis is forward-thinking approach that helps organizations evaluate employees based on capabilities rather than just duties. This still matrix that you're seeing shows provide a structured way to assess competencies across different job functions. So each rows of this matrix represents a level of proficiency based on, so from basic knowledge, which is level 1, to expert level, which is level 8. And each column highlights key components such as technical expertise, communication, leadership, problem solving, and decision making. Now, the shared areas indicate minimum skill levels required for this position and setting that benchmark for employee evaluation and career development. This matrix, you can kind of see how things are evaluated and so forth. A well-crafted job description serves as a foundation for recruitment, training, and performance evaluation. And it typically has these three components. You have job titles, job identification, and job duty section. So job title provides clear status and hierarchy level within the organization. So where they fall in that chief, officer or a manager or, um, you know, cook or grill worker or whatever the case is, and you have like the different foremen all the way up, okay? So job identification section is administrative details such as reporting structure, wage classifications, and purpose of the role. So it distinguishes one job from another and sets expectations and accountability. And job duty section, this section outlines specific responsibilities, often in orders of importance. The most importance usually goes on the top. And some descriptions also indicate the percentage of time allocated to each duty. And so by ensuring that these elements are clearly defined, organizations can attract the right candidate, minimize role confusion, and enhance engagement as well. Now, if the job are not listed separately or job specifications are not listed separately, they're often included at the end of the job descriptions. And these specifications cover skills required. So what is it that educational background, work experience, technical expertise, and any specialized training necessary for success in the role. Physical demands, so jobs requiring extensive physical labor, long hours, travel, all that stuff as well. And a well-structured job description prevents misunderstandings and any other legal compliance, especially in physically demanding role where safety is a concern. So these are the things that you need to have in a job description that are part of a job analysis. So if you've done the job analysis correctly, you go to these things and they're there. You're able to cover all these things. Poorly written job descriptions can lead to misalignment between employees' expectation and employee performance. So you want to make sure that as you're writing these job descriptions, you don't want to use vague language. You don't want to use outdated descriptions. You don't want to use legal incorrect classifications that will lead to legal violations. And you want to limit flexibility. So strict job descriptions can stifle innovation and collaboration with within the teams. Okay, so you want to be able to have to set clear expectations. You want to have up-to-date information. You want to make sure that the legal risks are all accounted for. If you want to improve clarity, you should keep descriptions simple, direct, and comprehensive. So including phrases like other duties as assigned helps maintain flexibility while setting clear performance expectations, okay? So it is to say that when someone comes back to you and says, actually, this is not part of my job description, say, well, this role required, flexibility, and these are some of the things that we mentioned would be under the other duties would be assigned. Job design is the process of structuring the work to maximize both organizational efficiency and employee satisfaction. It builds upon job analysis by considering factors such as workflow optimization, employee engagement, and technological advancements. And they're both the same. Okay, and a well-organized job should balance efficiency and motivation at the same time. If a job is too repetitive or lacks autonomy, employees may experience burnout and disengagement. Conversely, if a job is overly complicated or complex without sufficient support, it can lead to frustration and high turnover rates. Now, organizations use job design principles to enhance productivity, reduce stress, and improve job satisfaction. That is why they are using these things. All right. You can look at, we're going to go through these as well, but this is the top-down versus bottom-up design approach. And we're going to go through these in a minute. Okay, so top-down, really quickly, top-down approach, it focuses on ergonomics, so designing job to minimize physical strains and the workplace injuries, and then industrial engineering, a standardized work processes for efficiency and productivity. And so essentially what we have is top-down is focuses on the task, bottom-up focuses on the employee. So top-down, you're looking at the designing a job to make sure that they are, oh my goodness, designing a job to minimize, sorry, I got distracted. To minimize physical strains in the workplace, and then how you are designing it as well, and standardizing work process for efficiency and productivity also matters because it's task related. And then the bottom up approach focuses on the employees. So you want to enrich the job, so adding variety, autonomy, growth opportunities to the role. These are things that focus on the person and pushes the person forward. And empowerment, encouraging the employees to take ownership of their responsibilities. A hybrid model usually combines both approach, and it's often the best way to enhance efficiency and employee engagement. Okay, so now let's break things up. Industrial engineering and job design. Industrial engineering is a scientific approach to analyzing and improving work methods. Its aim is to eliminate inefficiencies. So you're looking at identifying redundant steps in the workforce or workflow. Second is to improve time management. So you want to establish time standards using motion studies and work sampling, and optimizing resource allocation. So ensure that the right people are assigned to the right task. Now, this approach is particularly valuable in manufacturing, logistics, and process-driven industries where efficiency is the primary concern. So you are designing the job in the most efficient way that could possibly be there. And by integrating industrial engineering with human-centered design, organizations can actually create jobs that are both productive and fulfilling to the employee at the same time. Ergonomics is the science of designing jobs to enhance work safety and efficiency. It involves modifying tools, workstations, and processes to reduce physical strains, preventing injuries, and improving productivity. So for example, let's say you're sitting at a desk for a really long time. A really good idea would be getting a standing desk, ergonomic chairs, and optimizing keyboard placement to minimize workplace fatigue and musculoskeletal disorders. Now, companies investing in ergonomics often see increasing employee comfort, reduced healthcare costs, and higher overall performance. So you're looking at designing an environment that is healthy, that is good, and that is a positive for the people, a positive workplace for the people to be, so that they are healthier, more motivated, there we go, and more capable of performing the tasks at hand. All right. Job enrichment enhances employee motivations by making work more meaningful instead of focusing solely on monetary investments. So enrichment fosters intrinsic motivation, and intrinsic motivation is that motivation you get from inside you to move forward. And it gives, so it's not dependent on something outside. It gives employees autonomy, responsibility, and skills development. So, excuse me. Okay. Giving employees autonomy, responsibility, and skill development opportunities. Enriched job leads to higher job satisfaction, lower turnover, and a greater innovation. So employees feel more engaged when the roles allow them to conduct meaningful or contribute meaningfully to the organization. Job enrichment is about making work more meaningful by adding autonomy, responsibility, and variety. The job characteristic model identifies 5 core job dimensions: skill variety, task identification, task significance, autonomy, and feedback. You want to have these characteristics to enrich the job. So, skill variety, more diverse skill sets leads to greater engagement. Competing a whole, sorry, task identity is completing a whole project enhances satisfaction. You feel good when you finish something, and so do employees. Task significance, knowing one's work has an impact, boosts motivations greatly. You think about that in your classes when you would take classes and you're like, I don't know why this is contributing to my career. But once you found a purpose in it, then it made it all the worthwhile. Autonomy, so employees can have control over their work, and they feel autonomy. Employees that have control over the work feel more invested. Feedback, so constructive feedback drives continuous improvement. Job enrichment, what it does, it actually transforms work from being purely transactional to deeply fulfilling, which leads to higher performance and lower turnover. And this is something that you want to be able to do. Okay. Ooh, yeah. So these are, there it is. They're both there. Okay. This is the one we were just in. All right. The job characteristic model is one of the most influential frameworks in organizational psychology and human resource management. Model consists of 5 core dimensions, which lead to 3 critical psychological states, ultimately resulting in personal and work outcomes that benefit both the employees and the organization. The first thing that you need is skill variety. And skill variety refers to the range of skills and talents required to perform a job. A monotonous, repetitive job can lead to disengagement. That's not what you want. Whereas roles that involve diverse tasks, keeping employees intellectually stimulated, are things that keep the motivation going. Now, employees feel more fulfilled when they can leverage multiple skills rather than perform the same task over and over. New task identities describe the extent in which employees is involved in completing a whole identifiable task rather than just a small piece of a process. So for example, a carpenter building an entire piece of furniture from start to finish has a high task identity. They know exactly what they're doing, okay, and how the complete picture is going to look like. While someone in an assembly line is installing one component repeatedly has a very low task identity. So a sense of ownership over the entire project enhances motivation. What you're looking for is task significance, autonomy, and finally feedback. So you're looking at a feedback that provides employee with clear, immediate knowledge of how well they are performing. So without constructive feedback, employees may feel lost or undervalued. Okay, so regular feedback, whether through performance reviews, peer evaluations, or customer responses, help workers understand their contributions and how they can improve. Okay, so all of these, sorry, they influence all of these psychological states. All of the factors influence the 3 psychological states. So experiencing meaningfulness, responsibility for outcome, and knowledge of the results. When organizations seek to enrich jobs and keep employees motivated, they often use job enlargements or job rotations as strategy. Now, job enlargement involves increasing the number of tasks within the same level of responsibility. So instead of doing just one repetitive task, an employee might take on several related tasks. An example of that would be a cashier who also stocks shelves and assists in customer service experience. Also, has a broader work scope. Okay, so while this approach prevents boredom, it also has to be managed very, very carefully. So adding more work without increasing reward or autonomy can lead to frustration. The second thing that we have is job rotation. So it involves shifting employees between different roles at similar levels. This is commonly used in industries such as manufacturing, healthcare, and even corporate setting. So a nurse, for instance, may, I think I left my microphone over there. I absolutely did. Okay, so I don't know if you guys heard me. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to re-say what I was saying earlier. I think the sound may have cut off. So what we're just going to do is very quickly, I'm going to go through the job characteristic models. This consists of 5 core job dimensions, and it leads through to 3 critical psychological states and results in personal and work outcomes that benefit both the employees and the organizations. Now, what are these things? They are skill variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and feedback. What you want to do is skill variety, task identity, and significance. What that does is that creates meaningful work for everybody. And that then leads to the personal and work outcomes as well. So you can see them on the chart. Autonomy and feedback. Autonomy allows experienced responsibility for outcome of work. And then feedback is really, really important because it creates this reassurance of the things that a good evaluation, or it kind of tells the employees where they stand at this point. Now, organizations want to enrich jobs and keep employees motivated. And what they do that is they do through 2 things: one, job enlargement, and job rotation. So job enlargement essentially is increasing the number of tasks with the same level of responsibility. So instead of doing just one repetitive task, an employee might take on several tasks. So for example, a cashier who stocks shelves and assists in customer services, experience, and all these things. So you have a cashier, and they're not just a cashier. They also stock shelf. They work with customers. They do all kinds of different things within the store. That is job enlargement. You take one job and you add certain responsibilities that prevent boredom, but they have to be managed very correctly. And the second one is job rotation, and that is shifting employees between different roles at similar levels. So this is commonly used in manufacturing, healthcare, corporate settings. Let's say you have a nurse, and a nurse may rotate between emergency, they may rotate between pediatrics, surgical units. All of these, they develop comprehensive skill sets, and it reduces monotony. And you don't want that so that to keep the employee motivated. So employee empowerment is essential for fostering work environments where employees feel valued and capable for making meaningful contributions. True empowerment goes beyond delegation. It involves decision-making authority, access to resources, and the ability to influence workplace outcomes. And closely linked to that empowerment is workplace democracy, where employees are involved in decision-making processes, either through voting, discussion forums, or advisory panels, or things of that nature. Job crafting is another essential concept. Employees naturally modify tasks to align with their strength and passion. Those who can shape their job responsibilities tend to be more engaged, motivated, and more productive. And then the last thing that we have is employee engagement, and that refers to how deeply employees are involved and committed and committed to their work. So highly engaged employees, they are enthusiastic, they take ownerships of their tasks, they are actively contributing to the company's success, which is really good for both the company and the employee as well. Modern workplace is shifting towards collaborative team structures and flexible work arrangements, and to enhance productivity and work-life balance, because this is something that people are looking for nowadays, especially post-COVID as well. So more than ever, organizations recognize that employees work best in teams, whereas skills and expertise complement each other. Now, flexibility in work schedules can also be becoming a growing priority. Again, especially after COVID, and everyone tested this priority as well. So organizations adopting flex time, allowing employees to start and finish work at various times as long as they meet the required hours is all good. So what that does is accommodates for personal needs such as childcare or peak productivity periods. Some people are really productive in the morning. Some people are really productive in the evening, and you're working based on them, which is really, really good. Compressed worksheets, work weeks. I don't know why I said worksheets. Work weeks. So where employees work longer hours over fewer days is another option as well. Four-day work week with 10-hour shifts. Job sharing is another strategy where two employees split the responsibilities of one full-time job. This is particularly works well for individuals seeking part-time work, such as parents or re-entering workforce or semi-retired professionals. And then the last thing is telecommuting, which is essentially working online. So with advanced technology, remote working allows employees to perform their jobs from anywhere, reducing overhead costs for the companies and improving job satisfactions as a whole for the people that are involved. All right, so a high performing, one second. Now, teams with organizations are structured to manage various functions that contribute to efficiency, collaboration, and productivity. And these functions range from setting work schedules to budgeting to purchasing equipment and so forth. So one critical function of a team is setting work schedules, so ensuring that employees are allocated work in a manner that maximizes productivity while maintaining work-life balance. A structure that is flexible but yet schedules the work. You want to deal with external customers, and that is another function that a team is responsible for these. So bridging the gap between organizations and its shareholders. So effective customer interactions enhances brand reputations and so forth. And so you have things like training team members, setting performance targets, budgeting, inventory management, purchasing equipment and services. These are all part of the employee teams or a typical team function. So the teams should be able to deal with these things as well. Okay, so now the last thing is de-jobbing, and it's a concept that is increasingly relevant in the modern workplace. Traditionally, jobs were structured with rigid roles and responsibilities. However, organizations are now shifting towards project-based work structures where employees contribute dynamically across multiple areas rather than being confined to a fixed job description. Now, this allows businesses to be more adaptable, leveraging employee strength in various domains as needs evolve. How and what does it do to facilitate teams? And what you want to do is a well-functioning team is characterized by several attributes. And so the first is commitment to shared goals and objectives. Essentially, when you're facilitating teams, these are the things that you're looking for. You're looking for a commitment to share goals and objective. You're looking for motivated and energetic team members, open and honest communication, shared leadership, a clear role assignment, a climate of cooperation, collaboration, trust, and accountability, and the recognition of conflict and resolution. What we mean by shared leadership is so in a traditional corporate structure, leadership is often hierarchical. However, in modern team dynamics, leadership is distributed, allowing team members to take initiative of ownership and tasks. So this approach is not only empowers individuals, but also strengthens team cohesion and resilience. And that's something that we want to do. And we also know that flexible work schedules are also more important. Flexible being one of the best things, like one of the most important things in this category, because employees can then control over when they start and when they end. And as long as they meet the required hours. And this creates this work-life balance. It reduces stress and actually can lead to a higher level of efficiency since employees work during their most productive hours. Now, a compressed worksheet is another strategy that employees work long hours over fewer days. Is another example. That's what we talked about earlier, job sharing and telecommunication. Again, these are all things we mentioned earlier. Some things you can use for success are determining if jobs are suitable for telecommunication. So not every job can be performed remotely. And so some things require hands-on or specialized equipment may not be the place for telecommunication work. But maybe, let's say you are running a construction company and the person who's doing accounting does not have to be on site. That could be something that could be remote in that instance. So these are things that you can look at as well. You want to provide employees with the right equipment as well. So if you're looking to work remotely, they have to have the right devices to do what needs to be done. And so you want to determine if they're using their personal devices or they're using company provided tools or so forth. And you're looking to also create a secure network, communication softwares, everything that is there that needs to be there. Another challenge is keeping remote work engaged and workers engaged and informed. So employees working from home may feel disconnected from their team and their company culture. So you need to do check-ins, maybe team meetings, informal interactions that can bridge the gap between the two. And then lastly, companies must recognize why and when telecommunication is not working. So not all employees thrive in a remote setting. And that's the truth. Some people are really good at it, some people are not very good at it, and so you kind of have to figure out when this is the right thing and when it is not. All right, my friends, that brings us to the end of our lecture. If you have any questions, please let me know. I am here to help in any way that is possible. Thanks for listening.